corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion.
30% of respondents marked no religion on the 2016 census, more than any listed religion. It is an 8% increase from 2011, when there were 25% who identified as Catholics. The Catholic Archbishop of Sydney released a statement saying, "I was saddened to read today that almost 30% of Australians have declared they do not know God. Despite being reported as the nuns beating the Catholics, we know the census results are not a numbers game." The Atheist Foundation of Australia released a statement saying, "Our political, business and cultural leaders must listen to the non-religious when we demand public policy that's based on evidence, not religious beliefs. This includes policy on abortion, marriage equality, voluntary euthanasia, religious education in state schools, and anything else where religious beliefs hold undue influence." One possible reason for the increase can be attributed to the campaign by the Atheist Foundation, which urged people to mark no religion on the 2016 census. Over $25,000 was raised to fund the campaign. The AFA targeted people who wrote things like Jedi and Pastafarian on the last census.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Master.
May the Force be with us all.
In 2011, over 60,000 Australians wrote Jedi as their religion, but the foundation encouraged those people to mark no religion instead.
Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Despite the rise of secularism, over 50% of the population identified as Christian.
The Force will be with you, always.
Another possible reason could be due to the well-publicised Royal Commission into Institutional Responses, in which churches were prominently featured.
Criminal negligence to deal with some of the problems that were staring us in the face. In other cases, I think there were people that were just like rabbits in the headlights. They just had no idea what to do, and their performance was appalling.
I think it's been scandalously insufficient, hopelessly inadequate, scandalously inefficient. I'm struggling for other words. It's just such a fundamental failure that I'm not sure what else I could say.
Totally inadequate, just totally wrong.
You see, you had leaders who were in themselves decent, good and experienced men, but who in very different places and different times made exactly the same mistakes without comparing notes or even talking to each other about it informally. Now, where you find those kinds of convergences, I think that's when you're dealing with culture. So if it was, as I think it is, a colossal failure of leadership, it did amount, and I think this has emerged through the process of the Royal Commission, in important ways as a colossal fail of culture that led to the colossal failure of leadership.
A WTV opinion poll suggested education was a contributing factor. If the census results are anything to go by, Australians are becoming more secular. But more than half still identify with the religion. James Rogers for Undercurrent.